The All Progressives Congress APC state chapter in Rivers State has urged the 27 state House of Assembly members who support the Federal Capital Territory Minister Nyesom Wike to start the impeachment process of Governor Siminlayi Fubara right away. In a press briefing on Tuesday, the APC Caretaker Committee Chairman Okocha revealed this information and claimed that the governor has persisted in showing disdain for President Bola Tinubu by not implementing all 8 points of the peace agreement that was reached in Abuja regarding the state's political crisis, to which he signed.
The governor complained that the State House of Assembly, led by Speaker Martin Amaewhule, was operating against his administration and didn't exist, threatening to dissolve the House members as state legislators if he so desired. The APC has now called for Governor Fubara to be impeached. This morning, we're joined by someone joining us from Rivers State. He's Chibike Ikenga, the Publicity Secretary, Rivers State APC Caretaker Committee. Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Ikenga. Would you say that the All Progressives Congress is in support of the forward movement of Rivers State by its actions?
Good morning to you, and then good morning to viewers as well. Rivers State APC is doing the proper job to call the attention of the government to its failures. That's what we are doing. It's expected that without criticisms, the government may become dictatorial of some sort or may veer from the original responsibilities of providing security as well as good lives for the people. So it is responsible on our part to play this part to constantly put the government on its toes to be able to deliver on the goods and services that the Rivers people here. Unfortunately, that is not the case here.
What do you mean by, putting the government on its toes? And I ask because we're very aware of the drama that ensued between the current administration and, allegedly between the past administration as well, and how Mr. President had to step in with the peace accord. An agreement that many have said is not a constitutional agreement, but rather a political way out of the drama going on in Rivers State. So do you not maybe see from his perspective when he says that he agreed to that for peace to reign in the state, and it really isn't a constitutional provision, because when you leave a party, there's a provision for how to come back if you have to?
Okay, quickly, the state assembly members haven't left the party properly. The constitutional provision is that there must be crisis in your party for you to move to another party, particularly when it becomes very difficult for you to transact your businesses within the party where your mandate was sought before the crisis. So it was on the basis of that the House of Assembly members left the party. However, there have been intractable crises in the PDP, whether at the national up to the state levels. I can tell you remember that the national chairman of the PDP was removed from office. You also remember that there are a plethora of litigations as to who the national secretary is. So all these crises at the PDP also created parallel lines and lines of loyalty and the lines of participation at the party affairs. And this, of course, brought in disunity, brought in crisis in their party. And upon the basis of that, the National Assembly, the State Assembly members of Rivers State left for the APC, our party, and I'm happy about that. Okay, looking at the President Bola Tinubu's intervention, what is not constitutional there? Local government election, that you should go ahead and do local government election as at when it is constitutional, and that you should not withhold funds from the Rivers State House of Assembly, is it not also constitutional? And that every organ or arm of government should be allowed to operate independent of each other. Is it not constitutional? So I don't understand the basis upon which the governor and his team are saying that it's unconstitutional. However, at what point did the governor realize that it was unconstitutional? He was part of the meeting. I was also at that meeting. The governor was given an opportunity to say whether he will agree to those terms. And the governor agreed and signed, appended his signature to it, and only to turn around to begin to castigate the processes and the items on it. That's marks of irresponsibility on the part of a leader who was a signatory to a position and then decided afterwards to come to kick against it. That's not state manly.
All right, Mr. Ikenga, hold on. We would, of course, continue this conversation after this very short break. All right, welcome back. We're still having conversations about the ongoing drama in Rivers State, and this morning we're joined by the Publicity Secretary, Rivers State APC, Chibike Ikenga. Welcome back. Welcome again, Mr. Ikenga. I just wanted to clarify, when you spoke about the 8-point agreement with President Bola Tinubu, you mentioned, that, the main things that they discussed were the local governments, I believe, or at least, the release of funds in Rivers State. I think you mentioned something about local government, but just to clarify, the 8-point agreements or resolutions, it says that all matters instituted by the courts, by the warring party should be withdrawn immediately. All parties, especially Wike's camp, that all impeachment proceedings against the governor should be dropped immediately. That the parties in the feud agreed to recognize the leadership of Martin Amaewhule as the Rivers State House of Assembly, or rather in the leadership of Rivers State House of Assembly. Remunerations and benefits, Rivers State House of Assembly and the staff must be reinstated. Rivers State House of Assembly shall choose where they want to sit and collect their legislative business, amongst other things. So I'm just pointing these things out so that we clarify that there are certain aspects of these things that normally should let the law take its course, not require the intervention of anybody to set a peace agreement. And if there is, for example, and I'll probably even give you this one, if, for example, the Rivers State House of Assembly was demolished unlawfully, a crime has been committed somehow, some way. It's not dependent on anybody's peace agreement whether that crime should be punished or if anybody should be impeached for that crime. And it's pretty much the same thing, that if people abandon the party that brought them into the Rivers State House of Assembly, the law clearly states what should happen next. And a peace agreement should not be enough to then jeopardize or to abandon what the law and Constitution says about when a move like that happens. Are we on the same page here? So the whole idea of a peace agreement in the first place, as much as everybody wants to respect the authority of Mr. President, but it also it shouldn't then disregard what the Constitution says and what the law says in situations like that. The whole picture generally also of what's going on in Rivers State, none of it has shown that any of the people in question here, any of the characters that are part of this whole crisis, is really concerned about the growth of the people of Rivers State. And I would like that you correct me if I am wrong, that none of these things have shown that any of the interested parties is really concerned about Rivers State itself. It's about their political alignments and the leanings here and there that they have. Who is loyal to Nyesom Wike and who is not loyal to Nyesom Wike? Who wants the political structure in Rivers State to continue and, and those who do not want it to continue? So help us clarify.
Okay, thank you. Quickly, what is the role of the Assembly? The Assembly's role is to check the excesses of the executive. The Assembly's role is to collaborate with the executive, churning out laws for the good governance of Rivers State. And the Rivers State House of Assembly had been doing so. Assuming without considering that the Rivers State House of Assembly, the last Rivers State House of Assembly, were on the same path on all issues with the executive, on all issues, even issues, I believe that they ought to have taken another route or another route, and they didn't do so. But today they have risen to their responsibilities and are now doing things that are in line with the interests of Rivers people, in line with the development, in line with accountability, transparency, and good governance. That's what we want. And the House of Assembly is doing so. And then on the part of the governor, the box stops on his table. The governor is not interested in peace. However it comes, whoever initiates it, he's not interested. Because there are simple things that the governor ordinarily would have done. If you check his rhetoric, look at the way the governor talks. The governor does not need to talk so carelessly, so arrogantly. If you listen to him the last statement where he declared that the assembly is non-existent, it's most appalling, it's most disheartening for a governor, the chief executive of a state, to begin to come down to the level of being so petty, talking about how he's been paying school fees for members of the assembly, how he's been feeding them, they've been eating in his house and all that. That is childish. And I feel that because he's not interested in peace in Rivers State, he's interested in petty politics more than peace and good governance. And then the House of Assembly has raised issues of transparency and accountability. And these are things that have to do with the protection of Rivers people and the interests of the Rivers people. And that's what the Rivers State House of Assembly is doing. And when they raise these issues, instead of the governor and his
what issues
as raised by the Assembly.
We're out of time, but just clarify what issues. What are the issues that they have that might necessitate an impeachment process?
Well, the House of Assembly has said clearly, and it's in the public domain, that the government, the executive, is involved in financial irresponsibility. They are spending Rivers people's money without a law, without a budget. So if they do so, it is against the provisions of the Constitution. This is one of them. And then the governor's responsibility in the state is that the governor has become more of an ethno leader. He's very ethnocentric in his actions, in his speeches. He believes that one ethnic group should intimidate the others. And that's not what the Constitution provides. In Rivers State, we have had governors from other ethnic nationalities, and no one tried to dominate the other. Everybody worked the same way, towards the same thing, and towards the same goal. But these are some of the things that a governor is not expected to do. And in our case here, the governor is the enabler of the deepening political crisis in Rivers State. He is the one destabilizing the state. And he is the one chasing away all the would-be investors.
All right, Mr.
And then the
Ikenga.
governor again, reneging on the peace itself.
All right,
In
Mr.
Rivers
Ikenga,
State, it's not a good thing. It's not a good sign. Having signed to it and all that, declaring an assembly non-existent is the most unconstitutional act for
Mr.
someone
Ikenga,
to do. And
I would like to, I don't know if you will grant us another interview. Let's have much longer, time to discuss these things. Our producers will reach out to you, so please, if you will, grant us another interview this week, if possible. Let's have a much longer time to break these things down.
Okay, I'm ready.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for stopping by, and of course, we wish you and the people of Rivers State all the best. All right.